I found something simple but brutally honest about life. Nothing meaningful comes without risk. Nothing. You can play it safe. You can stay comfortable. You can build a life that looks secure from the outside. But deep down, you'll always know you chose a smaller version of what you were capable of. There is no passion in playing small. There is no pride in settling for less than your potential. And whether people admit it or not, that quiet regret is heavier than failure will ever be. From the time you're young, people start planting this idea in your head. Make sure you have something to fall back on. It sounds responsible. It sounds smart. But think about it. Why prepare to fall backward? Why train your mind to retreat before you've even tried to move forward? If you're going to fall, and you will fall forward, at least that way, you'll see what's ahead. At least that way, you'll grow. Because failure isn't optional. It's not something you might experience if things go wrong. It's guaranteed. You will fail. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will try something and realize you're terrible at it. And that's not a negative message. It's reality. The sooner you accept it, the faster you move. Most people aren't held back by lack of talent. They're held back by fear of failure. They hesitate, overthink, wait for the right time, and in doing so, they never begin. But consistency beats fear every time. Showing up beats perfection. If you don't stay consistent, you won't finish anything meaningful in your life. Passion alone isn't enough. Passion must be backed by action. Repeat it again and again, especially when it's hard. There's a simple idea that explains this perfectly. Imagine a puzzle of 9 dots, and you're asked to connect them using only 5 lines without lifting your pencil. Most people fail, not because it's impossible, but because they stay within an invisible boundary. The solution requires you to go outside the box. And that's the lesson. The limits you think exist are often self-created. Break them. Don't be afraid to think differently. Don't be afraid to fail big. Dream big. But understand this clearly. Dreams without goals are just fantasies. They feel good. They sound inspiring. But they don't move your life forward. Goals, on the other hand, demand discipline. They demand structure. They demand that you do the work. When you don't feel like it, look at any successful person, and you'll see a pattern. Not perfection, failure, repeated failure, massive failure, but also persistence. One of the greatest baseball players struck out more times than anyone in history. That's not the part people remember. People remember the home runs. That's how life works. Your failures don't define you unless you stop. Every failed attempt is data. Every mistake is feedback. Every rejection is direction. Think about it. If something doesn't work, you've just eliminated one path. You're closer than you were before. Progress isn't always visible, but it's happening. There's a story about a man who failed hundreds, even thousands of times, trying to create something that would change the world. Most people would have quit long before, but he didn't. And eventually, after all those failures, he succeeded. Not because he avoided failure, but because he used it. That's the difference. So take risks, not reckless ones, but meaningful ones. The kind that push you out of your comfort zone. The kind that make you nervous. The kind that force you to grow. Because if you never take those chances, you'll never know what you're capable of. And yes, you will have moments where it feels like nothing is working. You'll try and fail. Try again and fail again. You'll question yourself. You'll doubt your path. But here's the truth. If you stay in the game long enough, something will happen. Opportunities come to those who persist. Not immediately, not easily, but eventually. You don't quit after one failure, or 10, or 50. You keep going, because success isn't about getting it right the first time. It's about refusing to stop. There will be moments when you feel alone in your journey. Moments when no one understands what you're trying to do. That's part of it. Growth is often lonely. But those moments are where your character is built. Those are the moments that define you. And here's something most people don't think about. What happens at the end of your life? Imagine you're lying there, looking back, and surrounding you are all the possibilities you never pursued, the ideas you ignored, the talents you never developed, the risks you were too afraid to take. They're all there, not as achievements, but as reminders. That's the real cost of playing it safe. The world doesn't need more people holding back. It needs people who are willing to try, people who are willing to fail, people who are willing to give everything they have, not just when it's convenient, but when it's difficult, because what you have matters. Not how much you have, but what you do with it. Your time, your energy, your effort, your skills, your mindset. Everyone has something. The question is, are you using it? You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have everything figured out. In fact, most people don't. Your path won't be straight. It won't make sense all the time. You might start in one direction and end up somewhere completely different. That's not failure, that's discovery. Sometimes, failure is the only way to figure out where you actually belong. You might think you know what you want, and then realize you were wrong. That's okay. Adjust, move, learn, keep going. The only real mistake is staying stuck. There will be low points, moments where you feel like you've hit rock bottom. But those moments can become turning points if you let them, because when everything falls apart, you're forced to rebuild. And this time, you build stronger. Sometimes, all it takes is one moment, one realization, one shift in perspective, and everything changes, not instantly, but directionally. And direction matters more than speed. You don't need to have all the answers today. You just need to take the next step, and then the next, and then the next. Be open to people, to ideas, to growth. Learn from others. Listen, adapt. The people you meet, the risks you take, the effort you give. That's what shapes your life. And through it all, remember this. Don't hold back. Give everything you have. Not half. Not when you feel like it. Everything. Because average effort leads to average results. And you're capable of more than that. So when you fall, and you will, don't fall backward into comfort. Fall forward into growth, into learning, into progress. That's how you move ahead. That's how you build something meaningful. That's how you become who you're meant to be.